All right. Welcome into episode 79 of the Dumb Marks podcast. It's your favorite Saturday brunch bunch, the best four-man booth in the business. Back at it again. Gentlemen, how we living on this very cold and unusually snowy March 26th day in the Northeast?
What do they call it in Pittsburgh? The second winter?
Yeah. No, this is like the fourth
third
winter. This is like the fourth winter, dog.
The fourth winter.
Bullshit.
I mean, we're a week in. We're not even a full week into spring, and we're still getting snow.
Yeah,
we didn't get a lot.
Listen, up here in Pittsburgh, you don't get four seasons no more, man. You get a long summer and a long winter. That's it. There's no fall and spring no more.
That is true. That is very true.
Winter and a little bit of sunshine.
Yeah, that's it.
But
they'll just call us East Alaska. Like, this is ridiculous.
I'm sure Donald's enjoying this. So.
Oh, I don't mind it at all. Had my windows open last night. Hey,
windows open? What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm fat and I don't even have my windows open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. The fresh, cool air makes me sleep better.
Well, I mean, that is scientifically proven. A nice, cool room does make you sleep better.
I thought that was supposed to be if you slept in cold weather, you were a sociopath, but I don't know.
Giving out secrets.
The weather, the weather, be it as it may, right now, it is what it is. We just got to suck it up and deal with it. I was ready to put the hoodie collection away for the year, but obviously, I still got it on.
That's a year-round. That's year-round attire.
Well, for you, yeah, you're crazy. You're the sociopath that wears a full sweatsuit in 95-degree weather. Like, that's crazy.
Wears sweatpants to cut grass. Wears shorts to
shovel
remove snow.
Completely ridiculous. So I had an interesting thing pop up this week on my timeline that I saw, and it got me thinking. You know, when it comes to rivalries, you know, you got Steelers, Ravens, UNC, Duke, Michigan, Ohio State, Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z. You know, you can go on and on and on down the list, right? But I think we might have found the beef, pun intended, that ends all beefs. Arby's is throwing nationally televised diss tracks at McDonald's. They got Pusha T dropping diss tracks at McDonald's. Jay, you're the McDonald's guy on this show. You've never even eaten Arby's, which is just a crime in and of itself. How do you rebuttal from the Golden Arches after you have Pusha T get on national TV?
Talking bad about that fish.
Diss track?
I mean, Wendy's has done it. Burger King has done it.
No,
like they say in wrestling. Like they say in wrestling, number one doesn't talk about number two. You don't see McDonald's like nobody because they're king. You're up here. They're looking down like, you squabble amongst each others. You have the Big Mac.
No, they got nobody in their marketing or advertising group that can come up with somebody to battle Pusha T track for track on a fast food diss beef.
No need.
This was amazing.
Didn't they just have like a Travis Scott meal, a BTS meal, a Little Yachty meal? Who does Burger King got?
Those are meals.
Burger King had Nelly.
I will never.
It was Cornell Hayes or whatever his name is. It wasn't a Nelly meal.
What kind of roll call did you just spit off right there? I don't know any of those people.
Huh?
I said you just did a roll call.
Yeah.
I was like,
I will never
not even had a meal.
Yeah, I won't drive past a
goal. You coming with Pusha T
without thinking of Pusha T.
Pusha T
dropping
the worst half of the clips.
The worst half of the clips. You're crazy.
Let me retract that hot take.
That is not the ledge you want to be on. But I couldn't. I've watched that clip. I can't tell you how many times. It's just like if I'm having a bad day, I'll just put it on just because it's hilarious that Pusha T is dropping a diss track on McDonald's filet-o-fish sandwiches during Lent.
Isn't this
the season supposed to be about, you know, Yeah.
You
But I
went
just thought it was
hard at the filet of fish, boy.
But where will you be in the line for a fillet of fish?
Not McDonald's.
No, McDonald's.
Got 2 for?
McDonald's is-
Okay.
No,
It's not 2 for
McDonald's
4 no more. It's 2 for 6.
And Arby's is 2 for 6 as well. And Arby's, you get a much better sandwich.
It's 2 for, not 2 for 4. 2 for. You get
2 for
something.
6.
I don't go to Mike's.
It's 2 for 6. It's 2 for 6. 2 for 4 don't exist anymore in this realm.
Nobody said 2 for 4. 2 for.
Hands, thank you. Best hands ever. Like, it's not even a debate.
That really
thinking
drove up
fish-
sales. Let's grab out Arby's and see who's in the drive-through. Nobody.
Straight to Arby's.
Was there yesterday getting fish.
Oh, that frozen square fillet. Like, I'm not eating that no more. Like, no, we're stepping up. We're going right to Arby's.
I totally agree, Kenny, because Wendy's Twitter account is amazing.
Yes.
They come with that heat every day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Twitter, but where's the ad? Who you gonna get to step
You got
up
to
to
be
the
on heavy hitters, and all McDonald's got to do is put out a Big Mac. That's it.
Oh, the Big Mac might be worse than the filet of fish.
Hey,
Just put out a Big Mac.
These might be fighting words. She's really coming out of it.
Just bring back the Hamburglar and Grimace and all of them, like McDonald's friends, and that's game over.
bring Legends back. Over.
They're gonna be the new BTS.
This was a one hit quitter. This is instant KO. Pusha T.
It still ain't persuaded would he eat Arby's.
Crazy. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, we got fast food beef.
Where can I find that single? On SoundCloud.
It's available somewhere, I'm sure.
I thought about playing it as we came live on the air, but I didn't know if we get a strike or not. I mean, it's out there as an advertisement, But yeah, I didn't think we could play it. Let's get ready to hit the play button on that. Just let it ride out.
We could insert something that's generic, StreamYard music if you want.
It's like, yeah. So that was the joy that I got this week, especially because it was at McDonald's expense, and Jay just thinks that's the greatest thing ever.
I'm glad you're talking about fish and not chicken, so it's all good to me.
Well, I mean, 'tis the season, so you got to talk about the fish sandwich right now. I mean, even Popeyes got in the fish sandwich game, and they're strictly a chicken shop. Like, everybody getting in the fish game right now.
Coming soon, a diss track to the diss track, or somebody not involved.
Oh man! All right. Well, with that being said, since we started off with fast food, fat kid beef, let's get right into Smash or Trash. I know we've been saving these up for a couple weeks here to get a nice addition for you. Chubby kids, get ready to have the mouth water. So let's go.
All right. Kick off Smash or Trash this week. Frosted Flakes is coming out with 3 new cereal. We have a cinnamon French toast, a strawberry milkshake, and a chocolate.
I'm all in on them except for the strawberry milkshake. I'll trash those ones, but the chocolate and the cinnamon French toast, I'm smashing.
Frosted Flakes is a cereal you can mix in any other cereal. That's how good it is.
Trash.
Smash.
Pop-Tarts is coming out with a snickerdoodle flavor. And what was your comment, Jason, on that?
It's the brown sugar.
Yeah. Essentially the same thing.
You're not gonna fool me on that one. Yeah, I've been in the Pop-Tart game too long. You're not gonna fool me with that.
So I guess it's basically the brown sugar without the icing.
Little crumble on top.
Yeah.
And a little drop of vanilla. Yeah. Like that's it.
One that I'm definitely looking forward to, and I know you are too, Jason. Little Debbie is coming out with zebra donuts.
Yes,
I'm smashing these.
I'm stalking the aisle. I'm like waiting for my man to come through receiving. Like, hey, you got the donuts. This better be the day, or we throwing hands.
I'm not crazy about donuts, but I'll smash.
Zebra cake. I mean, come on. Enough said. Doesn't matter what form it's in. Donut, regular cake. It doesn't matter. It's getting smashed.
We talk about Krispy Kreme from time to time on here. They're doing cinnamon roll Sundays, so they're going to start doing cinnamon rolls only on Sunday.
Oh,
trash.
Told you. If the red light's not on, it's hot garbage.
I thought you meant like a Sunday, like a ice cream Sunday.
No, like the day, Sundays only.
Okay. Smash.
Hostess is coming out with they're calling them bouncers. So it's basically like their version of like a donut hole, but it'll be for ding dong, donuts, and Twinkies, and they'll still have like the filling inside of them.
So you mean to tell me I'm getting a Twinkie munchkin pretty much?
Yep.
Is that what you're telling me? Tough smash.
Smash.
I don't know if it's 100 calorie pack or whatever.
Smash.
They can't do 100 calorie pack.
You get one for 100.
You get half of a donut hole.
You gotta sniff it. 100 calories.
Like the markers.
Just gonna say that might explain a whole lot.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper is bringing back vanilla float. Dr. Pepper.
Trash.
I'm not a fan of vanilla anything.
I did a little bit of research on that. There's definitely some mixed reviews on it. Like a lot of people say it just tastes like Dr. Pepper and that's it. So I have to give it a try and see how it turns out.
You know you're a chubby kid when you do research on the snacks to see what the national audience is thinking.
I'm not going to deny it. Another pop this week was announced is a limited edition one. It's Pepsi and IHOP combined for Pepsi maple syrup. So what you have to do, and you can go online if you want to and see, but you have to like take a picture of like your stack of pancakes. I don't know if you have to get them from IHOP or if it's just you can make them at home, and then you could possibly win one of the cans of maple syrup Pepsi.
So this is a sweepstakes?
This is a sweepstakes, yeah.
They did it with the Peeps too.
This is a publisher's clearinghouse?
Basically, yeah.
No, trash.
If this was available for everyone, I would try it. But
that's what I thought.
Let's try and get one now.
As I said in the pre-production show, Pepsi is syrup to begin with. So now you're adding syrup into syrup. Nah, I'm good.
This is why I have to do my research.
Pepsi sounded like video games with microtransactions.
Lay's is coming out in Canada with all dressed. So one of my favorite chips is the Ruffles all dressed. So this will be just Lay's regular chips.
Smash.
Yeah, smash.
If we can get into Canada, smash. But I don't know. Do they still have the border locked down? Like,
I think it's open. But I know. Like the all dressed is available for Ruffles is available here. I just don't know if these will be available at some point. But Cold Stone now has a Lucky Charms ice cream.
Smash.
So you get like a green ice cream with all the marshmallow pieces in it.
Smash.
Reese Pieces is coming out with 4 new snacks. It's going to be a Reese Piece with chocolate cookie biscuit, one with pretzel bites, one with caramel, and one with milk chocolate. So it'll be like stuffed Reese Pieces.
You eat all that in the PCs?
Yeah.
3 out of the 4. No, it'll be like little bricks. Be like little almost look like coffee almost.
I was going to say, it's kind of like the way it looks like is like
you do research.
I did research. You know how like M&M's does
it's like M&M.
Like M&M's do like the pretzel ones.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's going to be kind of like that the way it looks.
Trash. I just want the original.
Smash.
Cadbury is coming out with Twirl Caramilk. This looks interesting. I've never seen this before. So it's basically like their caramel that's covered with milk chocolate. I don't know if I consider this like a Three Musketeers.
I don't know, but it's the Caramello Cadbury joint. I'm all in on it. Smash.
It's almost Easter, so that's Cadbury season.
Cadbury mini eggs are top 5 all time.
For Easter.
No, those are trash.
Top 5 all time.
That's the worst candy.
Hard shell, milk chocolate on the inside. Top 5 all time.
No.
I'm not even. I can't even say how to describe that on the air, so we'll describe that later. Last but not least, we have Oreo.
Nobody said it. That's what she said. You guys completely dropped the ball there.
That's how terrible that snack is.
Better than that McDonald's fish sandwich. Push T.
Oreo's coming out with a mocha caramel latte limited edition coming out in April.
Trash.
I'll be trying that. That's it for Snacks for Smash.
All right, let's jump into Bell to Bell. All right, heavy week this week in pro wrestling. Of course, we're coming up on the end of the road to WrestleMania. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting ready to kick off our Podomania 2, second edition of Podomania that we did last year. So make sure you subscribe, check the bell, so that way you get notifications when we go live next week, breaking down everything and all things wrestling surrounding WrestleMania weekend. But I figured we talked this week, and some anniversaries hit that we'll get into doing some fantasy booking and some answering some fantasy questions, some what ifs, so to speak. But yesterday on ESPN Plus, Triple H announced with Stephen A. Smith that he has retired officially from in-ring competition due to his heart failure. Heavy interview. There were a lot of times where I didn't think he was going to be able to get through what he was trying to say because of how emotional it was. And we've heard nothing about this since it was announced that he had some sort of heart condition issue. So there's been radio silence on this, but I think most of us that are in the know, who have followed wrestling for years, kind of saw this as being the end of Triple H's in-ring career when it happened, given the time that it's been. So did you guys catch the interview? Anything that sticks out to you from what he talked about with Stephen A. Smith? And then kind of, I don't know, favorite Triple H moment, match, whatever you want to say about the game.
Well, that ESPN app is shit, so I couldn't watch it. Freezes my whole TV.
Yeah,
I just seen the clip Chris sent. Is that the segment they took out of the thing?
And it was just like a 3-minute. It was about a 15-minute segment.
Was it chopped up, or did they take that whole clip out?
It was that clip was in the regular show too.
Oh, okay,
so that was just like a small clip of the interview.
It was just like Triple H was crying, and he was like, "So what's next for the game?" That's the wrong person. Like, you just
a line of questions. I mean,
like
Stephen A.
Yeah.
Stephen A. is not the best interviewer, so to speak. He's better off answering the questions instead of giving the questions. That's why his show, when he had his show to begin with on ESPN, didn't do too well way back in the day, before Stephen A. kind of blew up for being the hot take artist that he is. But yeah, I'm more tuned in for Triple H and what he had to say, rather than what questions is he going to be asked.
Yeah, I was the same way. I tuned in to hear what Triple H had to say. He definitely gave a lot of information. So, it's one of those rare moments in wrestling where people don't have answers. It's like he's gone, but why is he gone? Everybody knew heart condition for something, but what happened? And everybody definitely kept everything under wraps for this one. That's good too. Something like that doesn't need to be, just on Twitter all the time. It's a shame. Triple H has always been one of my favorites in WWE since he first started. Like I don't remember him in WCW, but I remember like when he first debuted and everything. One of my favorite moments is his return in 2002 from the quad injury. I mean, the pop that he got from that, I still watch that and just like a huge pop.
That's a top 5 pop. I watched that clip again yesterday. Definitely top 5 pop. JR did a great job with it, putting it into words to kind of express the energy that was going on in the building at the time. But yeah, that pop was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I was sitting there thinking this week, it's like, sitting there thinking yesterday more than anything was, me, Dawn, and Jason were at WrestleMania 35, and that'll be his last WrestleMania match. And then so that was against Batista. And then his last like WWE television match was on Raw in 2021 and that was against Orton. So it's like, I think that's kind of like, just poetry in wrestling, that his last kind of 2 televised matches were Randy Orton and Batista.
Without knowing
Yeah.
they were going to be his last 2 matches.
Exactly.
The universe kind of working things out that way can definitely be crazy at times.
Yeah.
To see how things lined up, looking back in retrospect.
One of my favorite skits that he did was the whole Stephanie and Tess wedding when he came out and did all that. I mean, that was hilarious. Still up there with me. But I didn't watch the interview, but I watched a little short clip and all that stuff. And man, it was getting me emotional.
Yeah.
Very, very, very much. And I enjoyed him as a bad guy because, I like the villains a lot. So, he was like one of the perfect heels in wrestling history.
Mine is just pretty much typically like the WrestleMania entrances because, he always went to the extreme. And then the thumbs down moment.
The Batista thumbs down moment was fantastic. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, like the Wardlow MJF kind of getting that moment from them. Similar scenarios. Wardlow talked about that this week with Batista and how he's, always Batista was kind of his guy and how he tried to measure up to be like him, got in the gym to want to look like him, and like the paths that they've been on kind of are similar. But as far as for me with the game, I was never the biggest Triple H guy. I liked him, but he just wasn't like, he was never like one of my favorites, regardless of whether or not he was a bad guy or a good guy. He just like Triple H, but you let me put it to you and pose a question, because I saw a lot of this going back and forth. Do you think what he did with NXT afterwards changed the perception of Triple H, the performer and the wrestler, given the backstage political stuff that he supposedly and allegedly pulled to keep people down, not allow pushes, didn't want to do favors, those things? Do you think the NXT run changed that perception of him? Because I saw a lot of people saying, we're not doing this. Like, we know what you did to certain talents, and most of those people I felt like were more upset because the talents that he supposedly kept down were their guys, so they took it more because it was their guys that were being held down. But
wrestling's political? The hell you say? I mean,
it's changed. It's changed a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I like Triple H more for the vision and what he did with NXT than me liking Triple H, the performer. And I may be 101 in that aspect because, like I said, he was never really a guy to me. I'm not going to knock what he did in the ring. He's a hell of a wrestler in the ring and everything. Me personally, like, I like him more for what he did with NXT, how he was able to bring his vision into light. I thought he was excellent with storytelling, developing characters, getting people to be invested in guys and girls that they wanted to be invested in. So yeah, I think over time, and as he aged and got older and had kids and everything else, like, the Papa H thing became a real thing down there in NXT, and you saw that from the responses from all the people that were there with him for the years that they were there with him. That, father S figure to them really meant a lot. So I'm more appreciative and respect more of how he did that, and kind of feel like he never got he's never going to get the closure to it that he wanted because of the heart incident and the heart failure. You know what I mean? Like, it was taken away from him whenever he wasn't ready to give it up, I don't think.
But maybe that's a blessing in disguise at the same time too. Like, instead of him just continuing on for years and years, maybe whenever he shouldn't be, You know, how many times do we talk about that? And it's just like,
but not in
he
ring,
got
I
that
don't
hard
think-
stop.
But I don't think he would. I don't think he was those. I don't think he was like a Flair or a Funk that, you know, continued to come back in the ring. I'm talking more of the backstage stuff and having NXT pulled from him without being able to close that book
The way he
based
wanted
on how
to.
he wanted
Gotcha.
to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I still feel bad for him that how that all developed, you know, without him around. But nothing's to say that he couldn't do something else. You know, I think they've said he hasn't been back at work, you know, in full capacity, like on the road. But I'm sure at some point he probably will be. So who knows what the next thing is for him?
Right. All right. And then yesterday, Chris, you brought this up. I believe it was yesterday. The first ever WWF Draft happened
20 years ago.
20 years ago. And you posed the question, has the brand split helped WWE?
Yeah. And I'm talking about in general, like since the
In general,
inception.
over the last 20 years,
Yeah.
has it helped? And I would lend to say the answer to that question would be no. I don't think it's helped at all. And I get it, at the time it was devised and developed as a way to generate competition because they were the only players around. But I think in doing that, over the course of the years, they just got comfortable in their place.
Yeah.
And it didn't, you know, creatively, however you want to look at it, they just got comfortable. They were the top dog. Nobody else was around. And now I think with all these other promotions and having a true second nationally televised wrestling company out there with AEW, not to say that they're behind the eight ball, but, you know, it's taking them a little bit to get up on the horse again because of how comfortable they've been for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. I said when the brand split first happened, when it first happened, it was good because it developed more young talent. Because what did they say? What did John Cena said? If there wasn't a split, John Cena would never happen. So I see it as that.
Possible.
But
you got champions that never would have been champion.
Mm-hmm. But
that's
now,
SmackDown 6, the SmackDown 6, you know, from Heyman, the original SmackDown 6, that that they decided to build the SmackDown brand around. I don't know if you get all those guys breaking through the glass ceiling, so to speak, if there's not a brand split.
And then now, today, I think it hurts more than anything. I think you need like a full roster with everybody going at it if they want to compete with like AEW and everybody else.
I agree.
But then
for me,
would you run two? Would you still run two shows?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to.
They did it before.
Yeah.
How long ago?
I mean, the brand
A long
split
time
hasn't
ago.
always. There has been time in between.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a chunk of time, 5 years or so, that they didn't do the brand split.
But generally, for the most part, it's been the majority a brand split.
You had 4 years in the beginning of SmackDown before the brand split, and then it wasn't originally built as a show to be part of the brand split.
Mm-hmm.
It was just built to be a secondary show.
Yeah.
I think there's been peaks and valleys of the draft and the brand split. Like at the beginning, I felt like there was good, but I felt like it also hurt in the beginning because I felt SmackDown was the better show whenever they first did the brand split, and I didn't even watch Raw for the longest time because I just felt like Raw was so awful for a bit. Kind of, history repeats itself, and and then it was like I think the Raw 10th anniversary was rolling around, and they were like, "Whoa, like we got to celebrate this," so like we need to focus on Raw again. And then they took things off. They took writers and stuff from SmackDown and put them on Raw, and that kind of was the start of Raw becoming better, and then SmackDown getting the shaft. It's just like there's been good and bad. Overall, I think the brand splits hurt the company more than it's helped them, especially this last one, because to me, this last one, they didn't do anything different. So everything bad that they did the first time, they didn't learn from and kind of make it better. They just took everything they did the first time and just copied that. And to me, it's just been a train wreck.
But if you're running 2 shows, what's to stop the second show from becoming Rampage?
What's wrong with Rampage?
Viewership is down.
It's what?
Viewership is down.
I think no matter what, because you have 2 shows, one of the shows are going to suffer.
And that's why you have two shows if you want to keep the ratings for both. You have a brand split. Because if you have 2 shows and it's through one thing, someone's going to become the secondary show.
I think Raw's that show now. Because I think
it's still getting viewership because it's Raw.
Well, yeah, it's a 30-year ordeal that's been built into the subconscious of wrestling viewers that Monday Night Raw is going to be on. So you're just getting people to tune in because they've been preconditioned to that.
Raw's been on the decline for a long time, and we can go into the whole thing of with viewership habits these days on that. But SmackDown rose on Fox because it's on Fox, and that's kind of treated like the main show now because of where it's platformed. Next, we have like 2 more years before the next contract is up. That could change. And maybe SmackDown gets put back on USA or another network, and the whole dynamic of the company could shift again.
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time you were excited by a draft? Like, there's been no real true excitement. I mean, we've done prediction shows on 2 drafts now, and not that we've got every prediction right, but you can see who's moving where, and like it's been very predictable. It's lost the element of the shock and awe of, oh my gosh, so and so went to Raw, or oh my gosh, so and so went to SmackDown. Like, I don't think they evolved that over time to keep it exciting and fresh enough to make people care about it. It just became a thing that you did once a year.
I've hated the last 2 drafts. The one that they did when they did the brands, like the one whenever Fox and USA were like, they had like their war zones and everything, like, and were like, we're supposedly involved. That was okay because I understood that. Fox is technically supposed to be running one, USA is supposed to be running one, but the past 2 years, it's like, why are you drafting the whole roster again? Like, this should just be, it's a draft. You should be just moving players at this point. I don't understand why they it. To me, it's too much. Like, it hasn't been enjoyable.
And then this last one, they just drafted stories over. So they drafted like the 2 people. They just went from SmackDown to Raw or Raw to SmackDown. You had the same exact story. It just got moved over to another network. So that's not interesting at all.
You had a lot of your draft picks get released without even coming on.
Yeah, didn't even start.
That's not uncommon though. Like, especially when the brand split was really popular, like the beginning 20 years ago, right after WrestleMania, that's when you got releases every year. So they would do the draft like a couple weeks after WrestleMania, and then they'd move people over and they'd talk internally, like, okay, what do we have for this person? What do we have for that person? If Cray didn't have anything for you, that was when the axe was thrown. It's like they would just release talent right around that point.
So, Jay, you don't think you can do 2 shows without having a brand split?
No.
No, viewership aside, because the way
you can do 2 shows, but you're going to keep your main storylines on one show.
But who said, like,
you want to keep your biggest storylines on the main show? Every now and then you'll throw the secondary show a title match or a big name for the night, but it's ultimately going to be the second show.
See, I think Rampage, since they started Rampage, has done a good job of having stories and matches on that show that I want to see to tune in for, that may not be the main stories, but there's still stories that I want to see and tune in for. Like, you can take viewership into account, right? Mm-hmm. Because it is what it is. But honestly, in 2022, with as many platforms as there are to view something, I don't think you can truly gauge what a viewership number is. Right? I really don't. Like, it is what it is. We come on here and throw ratings out there every once in a while as just talking points and fodder to drum up the conversation to get into the deeper points. But realistically, looking at it, you can't say, X isn't a successful show, and I'm not labeling this to specifically Raw or AEW. X isn't a good show because, why viewers didn't tune in for it. Impact has been putting on some of the best shows recently out of any promotion, live TV each and every single week. Just because they don't get 1 million or 2 million viewers doesn't mean that it's not a good show. So, like, I don't necessarily agree with the point that you can't have two shows because one is going to suffer in viewership and it not be a successful show.
I think they've done it before. They can do it again. I think if the burn split does end after WrestleMania, if it would happen, I think SmackDown would still be the A show.
Like, I think Rampage is doing a really good, and this is just like me taking what you guys have said and trying to look at it to see how it would work. But, like, Rampage is doing a good job of building up people that aren't necessarily on Dynamite each and every single week. But they're building them up to the point where if you're going to have, Jay, in your eyes, you're going to have the main show and then your sub show, that when you bring talent over to the main show, they're going to be looked as big-time players, right? So, like, Rampage has done a really good job with Hook. Ricky Starks making, him and Swerve last night. People like that, building people up, giving them TV time and exposure, but not necessarily doing it on the main show. But you're still getting them out there and you're getting them TV time and figuring things out to where when it's time to move them over and you put them in a big angle and you put them on Dynamite because they're getting 1 million viewers a week, then they're ready to go and not be overwhelmed by being put into that spot.
But I'm not saying it's not successful. That would help, but it's clearly going to be your B show. You're never going to have a show where you're running straight through, where you're running every storyline through both shows. So one is going to be the B show.
Do you consider one of the shows a B show now, or no?
SmackDown and Raw?
Yeah.
No.
See, I consider Raw to be the B show now.
I do too.
Because I think the focus is clearly on SmackDown. Where it used to be SmackDown, even before the brand split, everybody called SmackDown the B show. Like, even whenever it was just Raw and SmackDown, no brand split. And I think just because of their positioning, I think Raw is the B show.
See, I'm in agreement with Jay on this. Like, I don't look at either one as being the B show, whether it's Dynamite and Rampage or Raw and SmackDown. I look at them as two shows, and you can like one more than the other. But I think where AEW, and this may be because they're still so new, where they're getting not a pass, but we're letting it play out more, is because, yeah, they're having two shows, but I guess we don't know, like, the true nature of that two show concept yet with them because it's still so new. I mean, Rampage just debuted in August when we were here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Right? WWE, we know what the two shows are. We know how they're going to look, what they're going to do, who the players are on each show. You know what I mean? Like, that because it's been around for 20 years. 20 plus years. So, like, I think as time rolls on, we can circle back around to this and say, okay, well, Rampage is clearly the B show, Dynamite's the A show. Like, this is why this doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're looking at it. AEW is handling their two shows differently than Raw and SmackDown are.
I'd say that
right now. Now, if AEW decides to make Rampage a 2-hour show and they have 4 hours of programming and they go Rampage live each and every single week, then that brings into some of the issues that WWE has, because right now Rampage, for the most parts, unless it's like pay-per-view week, it's taped. It's taped at Dynamite. So they can edit, they can cut, they can do whatever they want, and then put it out there on Friday night. If they decide to go to a second hour and go live each week, then, like Jay said, I think you're going to get into some of the same pitfalls that WWE has with what storylines you run in, who you push in. You're going to have one be above the other just because there's no way to equally balance both.
For me, that's why your example there is the reason why, to me, Rampage is the B show right now at the moment, because they tape it, and there's weeks where it's like I even watch it, and it's just like, this was missable. It's like it does continue some storylines, but it might not be developing them or furthering them the way that they would do it on Dynamite.
But it was never touted to be an A versus B show.
It wasn't. It's just the way I view it. And just
that's because WWE has told you this is Raw versus SmackDown, so it's A versus B. Like, it's
not that I'm seeing it versus, I don't think it's an internal competition in AEW or anything like that. Like, because it's even like whenever when Dark first started, it's like I watched it at the beginning just because it was something different, to watch. But I definitely consider that like their B show at the time. Like, okay, like they're doing it, but they're not putting a lot of time and investment in that. And I still don't think they are. But they put more effort into Rampage than they do into Dark. But
Dark and Elevation, to me, and I don't even know if there is Elevation anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think there is. But those two, because they're YouTube based and everything else, that's a way to get people to work without having your Performance Center NXT. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting people
for sure
TV time, seeing, you could try different storylines and whatnot, and see what, okay, we're getting a good reaction YouTube wise, viewership based off of this story between these two. Let's put them on Rampage and see what it does.
Yes.
Like, I think that's what they're using.
That's how I feel it for. Yeah, that's how I feel it. I feel like that's the NXT part of it. And then when you get good enough in that stuff, hey, let's see this guy on TV. Let's see how he does behind the camera, like on the camera. That's what Rampage is for. Then if he really shows off in Rampage, hey, you're good enough for the big show, go to Dynamite. But with WWE, it's just like split down the middle. But there is definitely an A and B show for me for WWE. SmackDown is the A show. Raw is the B show. If it was even, then the rosters would be split even, like, comparable. But Brock and Ronda are on SmackDown, whereas Brock and Ronda on Raw. I don't see nobody with those names to that caliber that
Brock
goes out to the.
Or Brock is on Raw.
He's on Raw, but he's being featured on SmackDown. I'm not talking about titles or anything. That's like this WrestleMania and last year's WrestleMania, SmackDown matches were the main events.
Brock has been on Raw. You just gonna watch.
But I think to Donald's point on the build to WrestleMania, obviously Monday night we're getting Roman and Brock on Raw, but the entire build has been done on SmackDown, minus Brock cutting a promo on Raw. You know what I mean? Like that.
Roman's been there twice.
What's that?
Yeah, he's been on, but I think I agree with Donald's comment too. I think the actual, like, the real build, like the real story of this has been put on SmackDown, not on Raw. Yeah, they've been on Raw, but like the main arc has been SmackDown.
All right. Any other final thoughts here on the brand split over the last 20 years and whether it's helped or hurt WWE?
Do you want to see it keep going or end after WrestleMania?
I'd like to see it end.
End.
I don't know. To me, I think WWE just needs a fresh coat of paint of something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's to end the brand split. I don't know if it's to unify all titles. I don't know what it is, but the formula that they've been operating under for so long is so stale that they need a fresh coat of paint. We talked about this a while ago on the show with the presentation of Raw. It got so formulaic. It was person come out, cut a promo, commercial break, come back, meaningless match, second hour, top of the hour, another promo. It just got so formulaic. To me, they got to do things differently and got to change up the rotation somehow. And I don't know what that is. If that's to end the brand split, then end it. But you got to do something different to get me re-energized in the product, because a lot of things are just so stale at this point.
I think 1 hour would improve it drastically. Now 1 hour would cutting off 1 hour. If you go to 2 hours, didn't say it like that. If you went to 2 hours, it would change a lot.
I agree.
So you're not getting a recap at the top of every hour.
Yeah, we all know that's never going to happen because of the money. But yeah,
Tony Khan said it best.
Out segments.
Yeah, Tony Khan said it best. If they want to give them money for a fourth hour, they'll do a fourth hour.
Not Tony Khan AEW.
Or sorry, Nick Khan. Yeah.
I was about to say, what's that?
Too many Khans in wrestling.
Context, brother, context. So another anniversary this week, right?
Today.
This week. Mm-hmm. Today, right?
21 years.
21 years. Old enough to drink. The selling and the ending of WCW. 21 years today. I know we talked last week with the passing of Scott Hall, the what if question. What if he never went to WCW? What would have happened? Well, what if WCW never sold and never went out of business? How would the wrestling landscape look today? Do you think they would still be around all these years later?
I think if Eric Bischoff was in control of it, yes. But the way it got to the end of WCW, it was a mess.
It was.
I think it could have picked back up if they hadn't said it's still been around for me, yeah. But
I mean,
it had his little roller coaster ride, highs and lows.
Yeah.
Bischoff's documented this so much on his podcast on 83 Weeks, and there's been books written about it and everything else, but the merger, I think, between Time Warner and that merger is what really sunk WCW.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, we can go into the booking decisions and Russo and Bischoff and them not getting along, and then just how bad it was towards the end. But I think it never gets that bad if that merger doesn't happen, because that merger just killed everything that was planned or envisioned for WCW moving forward. So to me, that was the death blow, was that coming in, because they didn't see any value in having wrestling as programming and just decided to let it ride out. Now, did they do things to hurt themselves? Yes, absolutely. But I think it may not have been to the point where it's still around today. I mean, we see a Ring of Honor's 20 years and they just ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to expect WCW to be around from, when it was to now, that's a really long time. And I don't know if they would have been able to do it and survive.
You would have still had the names, though, that'd draw people out.
Mm.
Just think how long Sting kept going.
It's true.
Booker was still going.
Mm-hmm. Remember, AJ was down there.
AJ, Christopher Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think with WCW going out, we got the Ring of Honors, we got the TNAs, do you think those companies are even around if WCW doesn't go under?
TNA, no.
Yeah, TNA, no. I think Ring of Honor would have been there.
Yeah, because Ring of Honor, in a way, was a byproduct of ECW closing. And I think that might have still been there, just because ECW is still closing. But their talent would have been completely different. Like we talked about, like our Ring of Honor Mount Rushmore. Would our Mount Rushmore be the same? If WCW is still in play.
So, what's your WCW Mount Rushmore? Sting and Flair got to be up there, right?
Yeah,
of course. Sure. Yeah,
I'd probably put Goldberg on there too, because he was a homegrown talent.
You going straight homegrown, or because I'd have to put Hogan on that list.
Yeah, that's what.
Hogan was there from 93 to what, 99?
2000.
He changed the game.
That should be because 2000.
No Dusty. Beginning of Dusty.
Yeah, I mean, because
not beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're talking WCW, you're talking Jim Crockett promotion days.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, like looking back at WCW as a whole, who's on your Mount Rushmore? For me, Flair and Sting got to be two people on Mount Rushmore.
Those are definite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other two, I guess, would be based off of when you started watching WCW.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely, I don't know. Definitely Flair, Sting, Goldberg.
I can't put Goldberg on a Mount Rushmore of anything.
For how popular and for how much he did for WCW there for a few years, absolutely. He was at the peak of the company.
That's like saying
I didn't do it, but he'd be close.
That's like saying a running back has a couple 1,000-yard seasons and is a Pro Bowler, but that means he's automatically a Hall of Famer.
You just called Darrell Davis.
And for it to be too, it's like for people I tuned in for. So yeah, I mean, see, I didn't know WCW pre Ted Turner. Like I watched WCW from Ted Turner purchase on. So if I'm just judging off of the time that I watched it, it would probably be Sting, Flair, Goldberg, Hogan.
So you leave off the five-time
Yes.
5-time champ.
As much as I like Booker T, yeah.
9-time tag team champion.
I think Booker T became better, but he's a tag team there, and it's just like then I have to put.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's the whole body of work.
I think Booker T's career took off more. See, I think Booker T's career took off more in WWE than it was in WCW. Yeah, he was a great tag team person. Harlem Heat was. If we're talking just tag teams, I would put Harlem Heat probably in my top 2 or 3, if not number 1.
Go back to when Booker T won that first title, and watch that.
Bash at the Beach. Yeah.
Like you mean to tell me that he's not over there?
I'm not saying he's not over, but he won that title in what, June 2000, and the company closed in March 2001. There's not a whole lot of time he was at the top.
How long was Goldberg champ for?
He was 97, or was that 98?
You can't mess with the streak.
So
the inflated streak.
That streak was a. We talked about it.
Well, what were people tuning in for?
13-0, and then Heenan gets on Nitro the next week. He's 97-0. This is amazing.
Hey, the man had one move, but we tuned in.
Yeah, that's what people tuned in.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's like
he did.
Yeah.
You put Goldberg over DDP?
Yeah. Me, absolutely. Yes.
Yes. I like DDP when he was on his run, but yes.
I was never.
I like that.
I like DDP, but yeah, he was never like one of my favorites ever.
You put Goldberg over Vader?
Yeah.
I knew Vader more for his WWE than his WCW back then.
Yeah, I mean, I watched WCW when Vader was around and liked him as Big Van Vader, but yeah. The names you're saying aren't bad names.
I'm trying to think of other names.
For me, I will go just exactly like Chris. Sting, Flair, Hogan, Goldberg for WCW.
I'm sitting there trying to find a reason to replace Goldberg. Trying.
So you have brother on both Mount Rushmores?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's how influential he was in wrestling. I hate to say it, but it was.
Yeah.
We have turned so much on this man, but he is up there.
I mean, if you want to talk about, it's kind of like whenever I talked about WWE. If we're looking at the people that brought the money into the company, I think those would probably be the four men that, other than adding Dusty.
Mm-hmm. But I wasn't watching that when Dusty was around.
Yeah.
I knew Dusty in WWE. I didn't know anything about his thing back then.
Do you put Bischoff on a WCW Mount Rushmore?
That's like putting writers in the Hall of Fame. No.
There is a Writers Hall of Fame.
There is, but I'm talking about No.
So wait, time out. Hold on. Because you just said so. Vince McMahon, the character, does he deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore?
No.
Because and it's again like when we talked about our WWE Mount Rushmore. It's like,
well, if you don't have Vince McMahon, you don't have Stone Cold.
Why? That's my same argument for Harlem Heat.
Stone Cold doesn't have that. Stone Cold doesn't have that foil to go up against. You take away the character of Vince McMahon, you don't have the same Stone Cold.
But why does Vince McMahon automatically, because of that, deserve to be on the Hall of Fame?
Why does Goldberg deserve to be on the Hall of Fame? Because he won one world championship, and
he was the draw. Streak. He brought in the money.
Vince McMahon, the heel Vince McMahon wasn't a draw.
I think you just found your next Twitter question. WCW Mount Rushmore, and I think a lot of people might see where we're sitting.
Go ahead, throw that out there. Throw that out there. We'll put it up, post it out there because today's the anniversary. We'll throw it out there. Who's your Mount Rushmore of WCW? Ted, and make sure you emphasize Ted Turner's WCW because like you said, you'll go back in in time, and you can talk about a whole lot of people
who stepped foot in there because there was a lot of people
who as far as what they meant, like Dusty for sure. Like if you're going pre Ted Turner, Dusty for me would have to be on the WCW Mount Rushmore, but he wasn't so much an active performer during the Ted Turner years of WCW,
more on screen than anything.
Right. So,
well, and backstage.
All right. Well, we won't get off in the weeds.
So if WCW,
I want to dive more into the Vince Stone Cold thing, but we won't go sideways. So throw that up there on the Twitter machine. Hell, put it on Instagram too. Let us know. I don't care. Facebook, whatever. Put it up. Let us know who you putting on your Ted Turner's WCW Mount Rushmore. And we'll see what the audience thinks, and we'll come back around and circle back to it next week's show.
And you can put a tag as one spot.
So if you were fantasy booking a future like WCW after today, 2001, what would you have done? What do you think the future of WCW would have been if they stuck around?
That's hard.
Yeah,
whenever they closed up, where did you sit there and see okay, they just closed. I was hoping to see this moving forward.
Okay.
I would have liked to have seen those younger guys, some of them that you mentioned earlier, the AJs, the Daniels, see what those guys would have been able to do. Yeah. Trying to think back to the roster at that point, the roster was so depleted at that point because people saw the writing on the wall. They were jumping ship as much as possible. So, what does their main event picture even look like? You still had Sting there, you still had Booker, DDP, but
I think at that point Sting was on the last show, but I don't think he was really even used on TV.
No, that's what I mean. So
so many of those guys were just sitting at home.
Well, if we were booking, that would have been
I don't even know if you could do that without going back and actually looking at that roster to see what they even had at their disposal.
For me, I was hoping. For me, definitely. I think the cruiserweight division would have been what TNA's X division would have been. They would have brought in a lot of that talent. Like, so where I don't think we would have seen TNA, we would have just seen, some of that just develop in WCW. Like, if it was me, like, if I was WCW or Turner and I said, okay, listen, Bischoff's taking over, we're not giving you all the time that you had. I would have given them Nitro, and I would have probably given them, a weekend show, like a recap show, because I think they were doing a couple of them at the time. I think Worldwide was the actual last WCW show that went off the air. So I probably would have just given them Nitro and, like, say a Worldwide, and, like, definitely canceled Thunder and some of the other stuff that they were doing, and, focused on cruiserweights, focused on the talent that they had, and just tried to go on from there. Like I said, I think Ring of Honor would have probably still been around just because of ECW closing up, but I think the landscape of wrestling would definitely change if WCW stayed open.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be an impact.
Yeah.
I still think they would have went out of business.
It would be interesting just because of a different group backing it other than Turner. Like you said, that was definitely the downfall of it.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that merger happened.
Had a partner that didn't care about wrestling.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this week, the rest of the week, getting back to present day stuff here quickly, we can run through and touch on some things that we saw during the week this week. For me, Raw and SmackDown both this week were forgettable shows. Not very good as far as getting me excited for WrestleMania. You don't even have the Intercontinental title or the United States title being defended on WrestleMania on a 2-night event. So,
not surprised.
And that's 2 years in a row the IC title hasn't been defended at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing
2 years in a row.
We're getting the third night technically again with WrestleMania SmackDown.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I don't count that as that. So you put Ricochet on that, and oh yeah, you're part of WrestleMania. No, you're not.
And then Finn's in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal on Friday. So they're getting their time.
Terrible.
So technically, Raw is supposed to be the go home show, I guess, but
yeah, and Raw is literally a repeat of everything they've done the last 3 weeks. This week,
yes.
And you're getting Mania matches before Mania on Raw.
You're not.
What do you mean you're not? You're getting 8-woman tag match with all 8 women that are in the match.
It's not a fatal 4-way.
Oh, so just because they label it a fatal 4-way, it's not the same fucking match?
Does AEW not put every tag team match in a championship or in a 6-man before the championship match? Yeah, they do.
Does WWE do the same thing?
Yeah, they do. WWE's been running all these matches for the last month before Mania. That's their entire build. They've taken these are WrestleMania matches. Miz, Logan Paul, Dominic, Ray. Those are your WrestleMania opponents. So the entire month leading to WrestleMania, they're wrestling each other in some form or fashion. Why do I want to see them wrestle at WrestleMania? I've already seen it.
That's the problem I have with WrestleMania.
And you're getting the same thing with AEW.
Lesnar, after last night, I'm not even excited for Lesnar and Reigns no more. To me, that build cliffed 2 weeks ago.
All right. Jason, I understand your argument. I get it. You're trying to do a spade for a spade. There's a difference, and there's a big difference. There's one company that is literally is in its infancy still, that hasn't been doing it for long at all. The people that are writing it, and there's someone that's been there that's been doing this for 50 fucking years. It should be better.
Yeah, like all the people back there haven't been in wrestling for years.
But think about the person that's running the show. The person that's running the show is the one that's booking it. He hasn't been doing it for long. So it's a lot of trial and error. And I can understand calling it a spade, but
it's not even a spade for a spade.
No, I don't agree with that either. I don't think it is a spade for a spade, but I can understand his argument for it. But it's just the point that they are so out of AEW's league for everything that it shouldn't even be a conversation. Like, WWE should just be demolishing them to the point in storylines, entertainment, everything. Are they?
Yeah, how many
it might
times
be more entertaining to you, but are they really killing it on a day-to-day basis?
How many times did we see Jurassic Express, the Young Bucks, and Red Dragon wrestle each other before Revolution?
There was a 6-man.
What 6-man?
I don't think Red Dragon was in it, but I'm sure it was a 6-man with Christian, Young Bucks, and somebody. Yeah, it was probably a 6-man.
How did they build to that match? What did you have to do to get into that triple threat tag team match at Revolution?
How they built to it? They had two separate. Didn't they have two separate qualifying matches?
They had two separate
tag team battle royals,
rumbles.
But I'm sure they had a 6-man the night before they went the
week
before the review.
No, they didn't. Look at the Revolution card and tell me how many times those people wrestled.
Wasn't Britt in a 6-man against Thunder? What, Britt was in a 6-man
tag match?
Yeah,
the night before.
Yeah,
same shit.
It's not the same shit.
You're getting
it's not Jay one night, one
but before,
time,
but
one time.
But the week before, did they do anything? The week before,
5 weeks, you build up to WrestleMania and you have people wrestle each other 5 times before WrestleMania. Why do I want to see them wrestle at WrestleMania?
Different variation.
It's not a different variation.
I mean, you want to shit on the women's match, but none of them wrestled the same team. They all wrestled somebody different.
But they're still involved in the match.
They're still involved. Same as this fucking 6-man the day before a pay-per-view.
The last 2 weeks, you're last night and then Monday night, you're getting the 8 women in the same match. So you're getting them 2 times before WrestleMania. And the only thing you're doing is your tagline and different.
You had 4 women on SmackDown.
It's the same. So you're just because it's 4, it's the same people. Why can't I don't.
You're getting a different match. You're getting a different match.
See, I'm going to go back to Steve's point earlier, and then Steve talked about, the formula in WWE needs to change. I've said before, WWE isn't for me anymore, and I know that, just from watching it this year, the past 10 years, really. But even David from the Pro Wrestling Podcast said the same thing. He went to Raw this past week. He said the same thing. He went to Raw to Live and said, "This isn't for me anymore." Just
the way they build to pay-per-view matches is to have people wrestle each other continuously in some variation or one another, and then have a match at the pay-per-view. That's how you build it. There's no story involved. It's just, we're having matches, and then boom, we have a match at the pay-per-view. If Big E doesn't break his neck,
and what do I enjoy?
You still have the same variation, and it would have been the New Day versus Butch, Sheamus, and Ridge. But they've already wrestled each other how many goddamn times before the pay-per-view? Because you can't tell a freaking story correctly. So you have to build it by having matches with each other 17 times.
And what do
they do that for every single match on the card. Go up and down the card.
What do I enjoy?
You enjoy the matches, not the storylines. This was actually I think it was Becky Lynch on Stone Cold's show recently, and she had said they were talking about matches and storylines, and their argument on it was wrestling is all about the storylines. You're getting 2 people there, it's and that's one thing that you're watching it for what you enjoy, but pro wrestling is all about the storylines, and that is such a weak spot right now in pro wrestling.
Storylines is sports entertainment.
Yes. In the United States wrestling world, storylines are such a weakness right now for everyone. I think
we even interviewed a wrestler right here and said storylines is the best thing in wrestling.
Hey,
Chris, I disagree with your point that storylines are weak across the board in all of wrestling.
It's a matter of taste.
I don't see weakness in storylines.
I mean, there's been good stories in AEW, but I find there's weakness in a lot of theirs. I think theirs could be better. See, you like Impact. I don't like Impact. Other than the women, I don't like anything that's really going on in Impact. And we'll see what Ring of Honor, what they redo with Ring of Honor.
To me, there's literally no point in having WrestleMania because I've seen WrestleMania 7 times before WrestleMania. Just because Miz and Roman are standing on the rope together against Rey and Dominic, I've already seen the match wrestled 7 times because Miz has wrestled Rey, he's wrestled Dominic.
Are you really tuning in for Rey and Dominic? No.
It's on WrestleMania.
Honestly, what am I tuning in for?
I'd rather see Ricochet and somebody else than Rey and Dominic.
What on this stupendous 2-night WrestleMania ever should I legitimately tune in for?
The matches.
I'm looking forward to Brock and Roman, Charlotte, Ronda, Becky Bianca.
So the only 2 people who really haven't, the only 2 storylines that quote unquote haven't touched is Pat and Austin and Roman and Brock. Everybody else, some point within Rumble to now.
And Bianca one time.
And the one person that they should just let wrestle to build a storyline, they don't let her wrestle to build a storyline. They've given her promos for 4 weeks straight. Ronda's not going to talk you into the building. She's not the person to be cutting promos. Why are you having her be the one to stand out there and talk every single week? You're doing the opposite for what you should be doing for somebody that needs to wrestle to get people to tune in.
You don't want to show holes in the game.
How do you get better?
They're highlighting her biggest hole. She can't talk. Let's shine a spotlight on your biggest weakness. We're going to shine a spotlight on.
It's the whole thing of ECW.
And it's supposed to get me excited to see her wrestle Charlotte.
The crowd yesterday enjoyed it.
That piped in crowd noise enjoyed it.
Don't say piped in. Come on now. Don't say. Did you watch Monday?
There was nothing about that promo that was enjoyable last night from her.
Did you watch Monday?
I've been breaking arms since I was 13 years old, and Charlotte, your arm's just going to be another arm on my list. What?
Monday they were standing half the damn show.
You memorized it though.
That's how bad it was. Monday was trash.
Hey, the crowd loved it. They were standing.
You ran the same storyline.
And they were standing.
The entire show.
They were standing half the damn show.
Where were they at Monday night?
Brooklyn. Or no, they were Brooklyn last night.
They were Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
Chicago. You're going to get that crowd in Chicago.
So now it's the crowd.
Is in Chicago.
Now it's the crowd. Okay.
You go look at all the other episodes of Raw leading up to it.
They were. Hey.
We'll see what the crowd's like on Monday in Pittsburgh because there's not a whole lot of seats left. Like they've done a good job to fill it. So
once they said Brock and Roman gonna be there.
You listen to Bully Ray on Busted Open, he'll tell you Pittsburgh's a shit wrestling town. The crowds here are terrible.
They can't get a chant, right?
What has been one of their biggest markets since Bruno Sammartino.
I'm just saying, so, you can't take the Chicago crowd, which is known universally as one of the hottest wrestling crowds, and go, oh, they were standing for over half of Monday Night Raw, so Raw was a good show. No, it's because they were in Chicago.
They were loud on Friday. Don't say it was piped in. They were loud on Friday.
Because of your buddies in Brooklyn. Oh, those friends you met at WrestleMania weekend a couple years ago.
Some people enjoy the show. Let us enjoy it.
So your go home show Monday is Brock and Roman, whatever face to face they're going to do, Miz versus Ray. You have the eight woman tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something else that's repeated again as well.
You may get Cody.
Cody's showing up at WrestleMania, and
Cody's showing up at Mania.
You may get Stone Cold. May
you not getting Stone Cold? Come on now.
He owes us one.
No, he don't.
We got.
Listen,
we were supposed to get 316 Day 2 years ago.
Stone Cold and Cody are not showing up.
The Cody debut at WrestleMania, I think, is going to be one of the more fascinating things that we come in here and talk about after it happens.
What do you think they're going to do Monday? Because Rollins on Monday said that he's basically hijacking the show.
Yeah, the show ain't going to start until I can do something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, to me, if you're going to debut Cody, that's where you debut Cody. But
here's how you debut Cody.
Via satellite.
Out at Stardust in 24.
Via satellite. I'm not talking about anywhere. NXT Stand and Deliver. Again, I liked what Carmella Hayes did. That ladder match, the booking of it, the way they've done it, I've thought has been really good. Putting the three losers in the triple threat, him booking it, just good stuff there with him and what he's done. In that, the Braun and Dolph stuff, I can give or take with that. Bobby Roode continues to have one of the best entrances, if not the best entrance in all of pro wrestling when they let him actually do his damn entrance. The glorious entrance is tremendous. It always has been. It always will be.
He's doing it again down NXT.
Yeah.
Yep. The full turn and yeah.
Oh, nice.
It was glorious.
He did it. He did it during a tag match, but he was the dirty dog. He had a dirty dog gear on. He was in the spinner like it ain't the same.
But this week he had the full robe on and everything else.
Oh, that's good.
It was tremendose. I didn't understand the booking with the women at the end with the Dusty Cup final, then Mandy getting in the ring. It was really bad, bad.
I get it, but you could have put that shine on somebody else, like Casey and Caden, or somebody else. They didn't need to win the Dusty Cup.
Yeah, it was bad. I didn't understand it at all. I thought that was a big swing and a miss from them to go off the show the way they did. But I said it last week. I'll say it again. I'm actually more excited for NXT Stand and Deliver than what I am for WrestleMania. And I've enjoyed the build to NXT Stand and Deliver way more than the build to WrestleMania.
Hey, as much as people shit on it, they're finding their footing.
I'm going to watch it this week because I just want to be caught up for everything for the weekend. But
the Chase U segment was hilarious. Like, NXT was good. I've actually tuned in the last couple weeks for NXT. So,
like, to me, there you're getting the best, like, consistent wrestling. You may get like one or two a green match in there, but to me, you're getting the best consistent style of wrestling that I enjoy. You're getting a mix. It's not as fast paced as AEW, but it's not as slow as Raw, and it's consistent.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with NXT after WrestleMania, if they make any moves, and how many they do.
Yeah, I think Jay, to your consistency point there with them, I think they've hit their groove with what they're going to do each and every single week.
You just don't have the names right now, but
if they change things, like if they remove people, let people go, that could alter everything all over again.
It could.
Yeah, and if rumors are true that we're going to get Raw stars continuing to interact on NXT, then I need Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio ASAP.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed Dominic down there. It felt like he fit down here.
I didn't see it, but I think he would fit better down there than he does on the main roster right now.
Yeah. Because he's a wholehearted gimmick.
Wednesday night Dynamite. We touched a little bit on Rampage last night. I thought Swerve and Ricky Starks was a really good TV match. I want to see them guys go more than 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I like the ending there. It was called the right way to continue to build the Starks, Hobbs, Swerve, Keith Lee. I like that interaction. I like Jay Lethal's promo. I thought Jay Lethal's promo, questioning people getting opportunities and what has to change and everything else. I thought it laid the groundwork for a way to bring in Jonathan Gresham and the foundation from ROH, whether that's Lethal back in ROH and running it that way, or it transfers over to AEW. I thought that was a good way to set that up. That's the way I would go with it, but I don't have the pencil, so we'll see what they do with it. But I really like that from last night. Wednesday night, I liked Wednesday's show. It wasn't like over the moon. It wasn't just drizzling shits. I liked Wednesday nights. Highlights: Moxley's promo, the Blackpool Combat Club, I think, is fantastic name for a stable. The shirt they put out is fucking awesome too. But yeah, MJF was a good promo. I tweeted this out whenever I forget who it was, and I have to go back through to find it, but somebody made a comment about after Wardlow cut his promo and him working for MJF. Somebody tweeted out something, and I responded to that tweet by saying, hey, if Wardlow works for MJF should keep Wardlow on the sidelines for 90 days, and then Tony Khan signed Wardlow to a contract, and that's how you get Wardlow versus MJF. But I put it with MJF being the champ, so kind of fantasy booked it a little bit there. But it looks to be that's the plan that they're going with. Wardlow sends MJF sends Wardlow home. Wardlow's taking off AEW's roster. He's no longer on the website. So we're getting some sort of fashion of that storyline. What are you guys thinking about that?
Do you think it'll go the full 90, or do you think they'll just do maybe a month off and then bring them back?
I could see it going to Double or Nothing.
I like it. I mean, I'm all for Wardlow. I like MJF, so that's a good story. Probably the only story I'm enjoying AEW right now.
I don't think he needs to time off, though.
Yeah, because he was kind of got hot there a little bit.
Yeah.
Right before the pay-per-view.
I think I wouldn't say just keep him completely off television, a la breaking into the arena type deal, buying a ticket, like that shit to get under MJF's skin.
Yeah.
To continue that, so you continuously see, not just drop him off completely. It doesn't have to be every single week, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'd rather see that because I wouldn't want to see his momentum die out, kind of like Hangman's was last year.
Yeah. Punk and Dax to open the show was really good pro wrestling match.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that opening. Like I said, it was a good show. I don't really I'm not in here beating my chest about it being the best Dynamite ever, but
no.
Again, it's 2 hours that fly by. So if I guess it flies by because I'm not looking at the clock. I'm watching what's on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Thunder Rosa? That segment.
Shit's terrible. Terrible what they did to her.
I love Nyla's response last night to it.
What did she?
It was along the lines of something just she goes, "Oh, everybody's complaining you killed the segment." She goes, "That's what I was trying to do." Just defended like that was her plan, was to beat the shit out of Thunder Rosa and steal her momentum.
I'm at the point now where I want baby faces like that, just getting attacked every week. I don't want you cutting a promo because eventually it all becomes, it's going to be some storyline I don't want to hear or some promo I don't want to hear over and over. Just send somebody at him every week.
I think I would have been more on board with what they did if Vicky didn't come out and do what she did.
Yeah.
I'd have gave it a week, maybe. Let her have her moment, and then.
Like, I don't mind them hot-shotting right into Nyla and Thunder. That's fine. But to me, it would have been better if if you would have got Tony standing there, Thunder's music hit, he introduces her, she comes out, and as she's walking out, Nyla just comes out and lays into her and beats her down. And then Chris, to your point, say what she said last night after she lays her out. So, you wanted a celebration? You wanted a cheer? No, I'm killing her moment.
No.
It's my time. I'm coming back for the like something along those lines. Like combine the two, I think it would have been better. But to have Vicky go into take your fake green card back, I don't
Yeah.
I seen on EFW they said, "Is that how AEW starts all their women's feuds?"
I was gonna say that too.
Somebody getting attacked all the time. No, just somebody getting attacked all the time.
Yeah. I saw that, and I saw everybody was like, "Why is Nyla always the first person to get the new champ?"
Look at the
ranking. To see it.
Look at the rankings.
Oh yeah.
And Private Party took a pin again, so we'll see how they're treated.
Steve, did you even watch Jeff Hardy's spot?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Honest to God, all I thought was, I hope that beam holds. I hope that beam holds.
I was more worried about how far the tables were out.
Okay.
And whether or not he was going to be able to because I just had flashbacks to Matt falling off of the freaking thing with Sammy and smacking his head on the concrete because they missed the table. To me, that moment right there, all that said to me was, I do not need to see Jeff and Darby in a one-on-one match. I don't need to see it.
Don't need to see it.
Because I will legit have a heart attack, and that'll be the end of me because those two trying to find the highest thing around to jump off of onto each other, whether it's a coffin drop or a swanton bomb or something, I don't need it.
I was watching. Where did Marquez come from? He tried to climb up on the tunnel or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then again, Darby got thrown down more concrete steps. Just
Tommy Dreamer talked about that on Busted Open.
Come on, dude.
He said he did that in the ECW match one time. I forget where he said they were at, but he threw himself down, and the way he was going down, he kind of got stuck, so he had to re-throw himself again. And the second time he threw himself even harder to make sure he got down to the bottom. Well, he did it so hard that his momentum was so fast, his legs came first and smacked off the cement when he landed. He thought he broke both his legs because that's how hard he threw himself down. And I'm listening to it, and I'm like, why? Why is that needed that you have to do that? I just don't. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah,
stupid ass story.
Yeah,
not the Tommy Dreamer one. I'm talking about the Sting Hardy and all that stuff. That's a dumbass story.
Yeah. Again, Jay, this is where I'll say AEW and WWE are mirroring themselves. The whole Hardy, Sting, Darby, AHF, Andrade family, AFL, whatever the fuck they're calling themselves. It's all them wrestling each other multiple times. It's the same shit. I don't need to see it. I almost literally, if I was watching Dynamite pre-recorded, I probably would have fast forward through it because I don't need to see it. And this may get me attacked a little bit on Twitter, but I don't care. Something about the Hardys just doesn't line up for me right now in AEW. To me, they're not the Hardys. I don't get the same vibe. I don't I'm not enjoying it. I don't know if they both lost a step. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because
Matt Ben lost a step.
Maybe it's because Matt was a heel for so long, and then all of a sudden they just snap fingers and he's a babyface coming out in old school Hardy gear. I don't know what it is, but it's not working. And
the sun came out, and somebody's finally on my side about the damn Hardys.
I don't know. I think we need to see that Sea of Tranquility. Matt go in, then come back out.
The only thing I need to see for them is Featured Endeavored.
All right, and that's how we end Bell to Bell this week. So let's get ready to. This is gonna. I'm even more mad about this next segment than I was. All right, drink of the week time.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right, this week's drink of the week is brought to you by Jason. So, Jason, why don't you go ahead and explain this week's drink of the week?
Hey, when y'all went to the beer store, y'all picked up 3 beers. Steve, you probably had like a case of your own. I didn't. I only picked up 2, so I had to improvise.
And so by improvise, you mean you went? Go ahead. I
went to Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon. Does Amazon let you buy beer?
That's what I asked the other day.
Hey, non-alcohol. We could have done some of that.
So, did you order a non-alcoholic beer off of Amazon?
Hell no. I hate beer as it is. Why would I order non-alcoholic?
What are we getting ready to drink?
I believe it's a soda, a brewed soda from Scotland with a secret recipe. Hey, the people wanted variety. They wanted different.
I mean, I get it. We went international last week with
we're going international again.
So now we're going international with pop.
Send me some coffee beans. We'll have coffee for a day. I don't drink coffee, but I try for drink of the week.
So we have a Scotland.
So we're going to do Pepsi Maple soon, huh?
Hopefully. Hey.
We have a Scottish sparkling flavored soft drink. Is what we're doing this week on Drink of the Week.
It smells like bubble gum.
Where did we hear about this at?
Huh?
Yeah, Jay. Who did you see drink this? It made you want to order it off of Amazon.
Didn't make one. So what is her name? Sophia. Right?
Oh my God, Sophia! I'm so sorry. That's Jason. He's at Mr. Cream of Weed on Twitter. You can block him immediately.
Vocal mind is Sophia.
You did not deserve that.
No, she was drinking this, and I was like, "Hey,
we'll gladly fire him off the show, and you can replace him for his."
I said, "What kind of orange soda you drinking?" She said, "It's not orange." So I was like, that looks okay. And what is it? She said, "It's a weird taste, citrusy."
This definitely smells like the bubblegum medicine.
Yeah,
it smells like bazooka.
This is amoxicillin. You got me drinking amoxicillin. I'm allergic to amoxicillin.
I'm allergic to amoxicillin too. You trying to kill me?
Yeah.
Jason trying to make this the Jason show.
If I break out in hives and swell up after I sip this, there's definitely amoxicillin in it.
See y'all.
Interesting taste.
Tastes like bubblegum too.
Does it?
It does. It does.
I was expecting orange.
But it's orange.
Yeah.
See, this is the weird.
How did what did
this
the
tastes like
Scottish do to this to get orange? But like this,
this tastes like bazooka.
They hit you
Talk
with
about mind games.
I thought she said it was citrusy.
so this is an energized soft drink. This is
Really? I don't need. I'm trying to go to sleep after this.
Yeah, you're really trying to kill me.
This is different. It's confusing.
So this is supposed to be like a kickstart, like an amp. I'll say amp. Like this.
Possibly. I don't know.
You know, I'm mad that I'm not drinking alcohol on this segment. And maybe that's
we have to drink alcohol.
Maybe that's more of an indictment on myself.
Thank you.
This segment, but
I'm mad. I got to drink alcohol every week.
I don't hate this, which makes me even more mad because I wanted to hate it and trash you even more for ordering Amazon Scottish pop
Soda.
saying that. Don't. Yo, I will drive to your house right now, and we'll go out in the street.
He's from the South. Well, he's from the South, so he's from the South. So
we don't drink soda. We drink pop.
Hey, y'all drink that shit.
I'll get into this argument all day long with people.
He's not far underneath the Mason-Dixon line, but just
he's still from the South. He's from the South. So it's a pass.
Yeah.
Only thing is, like we're heavy with the sweets over here in the U.S. Everything elsewhere is like they say our stuff is too sugary. I can taste that in this that it's not as.
I don't mind I don't mind it being not as sweet as pop here. Like I actually like
I like this
better yes, because it's not as sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The fizziness in the bubble, like it's really throwing me off whenever I drink it. Like I feel like I'm because it's sparkling, I'm thinking sparkling water, but
it's energized.
Electrolytes.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one good thing out of this, I agree. I think that'd be it, is the sweetness. I was expecting it to be more like a sparkling water where it's not sweet. You just get like that little hint of sweetness from the flavoring, but I actually think like drinking it is.
There's 16 grams of sugar or sweeteners in this thing compared to 36 that we put in.
I was expecting straight sugar. So.
I do. I like this. I can mess with this, like you said, because it's not that sweet.
But if this is what LaCroix was, it'd be amazing.
You would drink LaCroix?
Yes.
I'll give you that.
Yes,
so this is the non-cancer causing LaCroix? Is that what you're saying?
Give me bubbly with a little bit of sugar. This would be it.
I need a different flavor.
Yeah, I got to compare it to other flavors.
Yeah. This is the flavor.
He said
this is it.
He said that is the flavor. You get a red can, same flavor.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if it was just all different colored cans, but it was the same taste? We want to talk about a mind trip.
Irn-Bru, you have failed this city.
You know what? I'll go solid 3. Don't hate it, don't love it, but I'm not mad that I actually drank it, so I'll give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3.5. I'm interested in it. I am. Might get some myself.
No.
You don't like it at all?
No. No. It gets a 1 for the actual being sweeter than I thought. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. I would never drink this again.
That trash your friend's soda like that.
That flavor is no. I don't like bubblegum flavored anything other than bubblegum.
You just said you don't like the UK.
Don't do that. You're gonna really cause.
Yeah, come on.
You gotta get it right, man.
You're gonna cause tension between me and my friend.
You can't even. Hey,
you can't even blame it on alcohol.
Unlike Jamie Foxx, you can't blame it on alcohol, bro. Because you're stone sober right now. Scotland.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 too. I enjoy it. I have another. I was expecting more orange. The mind trick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have a cheers or a toast for this because it's not beer, so we can.
You can't toast a drink.
Kick it over.
He'll have another.
What are we going into?
I don't. This show's derailed quickly. I don't know, man. If you throw up sports, we'll talk sports. If you throw up one gotta go, we'll get into one gotta go. You surprise us.
Early dismissal. You send everybody home. Like,
gotta go, so we'll help him out.
This is a half a period. You guys can go.
Go watch a movie.
Half a day.
It's here.
Well, say I never gave you nothing.
Normally, the sports are for whatever we've actually had some beer in us. So, gonna have that argument. Last week, Donald, your TV Heroes teams. I'm actually kind of surprised. Everybody, pretty much unanimous. Power Rangers got to go.
Because they're trash, and everybody hates the Green Ranger.
That surprised me.
And that's from all the young people, too.
Mm-hmm.
That was like their show. Shocking.
All right, Jay, I don't even know what you got this week. But Oh, we definitely don't have one. Gotta go.
So look, we start the segment every week with this, and I had an easy one.
You lazy?
It's not.
Come on, really?
What's the first thing you think of when you think of four things? The seasons. We start every week like the weather was shitty. I got a shovel. You came in with the allergies last week.
It's about perfect. The weather today.
It's perfect. And I already know two of us ain't kicking. Two of us is going to agree. I know what we agree on. Everybody's going to shit on, and it's going to be kicked off. But hey.
I'm officially doing a sit-in strike for this segment because the lack of creativity and time
this is very creative.
Put into this segment.
Very creative. You hate shoveling, you hate the rain, you got allergies.
You woke up 5 minutes before we logged on to do this show. You said, "Oh shit, I forgot one got to go up."
No,
spring, summer, fall, winter. There you go. One got to go. Send it over to Chris.
Behind the scenes, look, he sent over his original one got to go list. I'm pretty sure that
that one got us canceled.
Say what, bro?
That's a topic to bring up. I'd rather talk about that right now than this. Not from the women that you had, but because of the
amounts of money.
Change in finances that are out there now for it. But we don't have to get into that. I'm not voting on this. You're
not.
Just like I don't watch Monday Night Raw every single week, I'm not voting on this week.
How? It's simple. One got to go. You like every season.
You got to go. You got to go. We're not doing this show justice. This is like writing a paper right before you walk into class. This is like going into school writing your first period paper in homeroom.
Hey, I've mailed exactly what this is. I've mailed a lot of shit in, but this was thought out.
This was not thought out. There's no way in hell you can tell me you spent time on this.
Yeah,
out of all the things that you could possibly put four together to come up with a topic, this is what went off.
Weather is the first thing you think of.
Oh, all right, so I'll start. Spring got to go because of allergy season. When it gets cold and it starts getting warm up, and I don't like it, and my allergies flare up. Fall's my favorite. Then I take winter, and then I'll take summer because I'm a cold weather person. So spring got to go.
Spring through fall is allergy season.
Allergies
even sometimes in winter.
In Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you get that like false spring in the wintertime, that's whenever allergy season really kicks up. But for me, I'm more of a warm weather person. Spring, summer, fall, I'll enjoy that all. I hate snow, I hate ice. Winter gotta go. I need to get out of Pittsburgh.
No. Live your whole life and you hate winter.
Yep.
Winter's the first one staying. Bugs are gone, birds are gone, kids are out, kids are gone, streets are safe, crime's down, winter stays. Nobody gets shot, the beef is died down.
Based on that.
I hate spring because shit's going, but summer's the worst. It's too hot. It's
because you wear a sweatsuit all summer long. Take a
it's hot without it.
And a t-shirt, and you'll be fine.
If I can do this in the dark, I hate lights. I hate hearing kids outside my window.
Right now, I need a beer. This is ridiculous. I'm stuck drinking this bullshit Scottish soda.
As he tugs the soda.
that he gave it 3.5.
Go to final thoughts. I'm done. We're done. If you want, don't vote. Hey, everybody, don't vote on the board.
All right, for those of you that are left, thanks for tuning in episode 79. Before we send things home, just a couple of things. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell when you get notifications when we go live each week. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DumbMarksPod. Don't forget that our audio-only edition of the show is available on demand on all your favorite podcast platforms. And support the show by telling a friend about us and purchasing our official merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/DumbMarksPod. One more thing, we've been doing our Mania Madness. It's going to be ending this upcoming week. We're going to be doing our Final Four and our championship. So just show off the bracket what we got. We've got Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, and John Cena in our Final Four. So
this is the greatest Mania main eventer of all time.
Yep.
Main eventer.
I hate the path we took, but I like what we got.
Yeah, I mean, Undertaker bowing out in the second round is terrible. But whatever.
So, yeah, follow us on our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter accounts this week while we continue voting and some of our personals. So this week, next Saturday, we'll announce who the winner was.
All right, Donald, you want to jump into a couple gaming news before I got a couple things TV entertainment wise?
Yeah, one gaming thing. Gran Turismo 7. Remember how last week I was talking about the backlash? Well, Sony responded, and they are retracting everything that they did. So your grinding races will go back up to full price again. They're also offering 2 other races that's going to have big bonus weeks on them. They're giving everybody who has a Gran Turismo account 1 million credits in their account as for an apology. And they're adding microtransactions will still be there, but everybody's happy about all this stuff going back. And they're going to actually have a mode where you can sell your car again, like they did in the other Gran Turismo games. And they're talking about taking it offline too, so you don't have to be online all the time to do your stuff. So the people were mad. They backlashed against it. Sony heard them. Sony made an official statement yesterday saying of all this stuff. So good for them.
I saw Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League got delayed to spring of 2023 by Rocksteady. They confirmed that this week. So if you're looking forward to that game, it won't be out till spring of 2023. And then Donald, Jay, I saw this and thought about you guys. You brought up the Sony. So apparently PS5 consoles this week weren't able to use the PlayStation Plus to play online after an update was downloaded. They said it was going to take up to 3 days to figure it out, to fix it. I don't know if they fixed it. I didn't follow up, so to speak.
Yeah, they did fix it.
Okay. At least that was quicker than whenever they bricked the PlayStation 4 a few months ago.
Yeah, but they did a release for the VRR, so it could be compatible with the PS5s. And for some reason, a bug was in there and shut down the whole PSN network, so you couldn't get online or do anything with it.
Yeah, and those games that are strictly online only, you weren't able to play them at all.
Nope.
Well, I would have raged.
But they fixed everything and it's all good.
You got Sony and Microsoft with bugs over there. We need to get Apple into a real system with no bugs.
WWE is continuing their partnership with 2K Gaming, so I guess the game has been that good so far.
I heard mixed things on that.
I heard conflicting reports because I saw that was just an official meeting celebration picture based off of the launch of the game, not the confirmation of them continuing their partnership. So
somebody's lying.
Yeah, you may still get a switch in that.
Excuse me for being in the sheets.
That's what happens when you don't dabble in there. You get in there and just,
believe everything.
Yeah.
Well, this tweet looks good.
Maybe open it up and read the article. You might actually just go off of the clickbait headline. A couple of quick things. I saw 2 things this week, TV wise. One, Netflix is doing a adaptation of The Addams Family by Tim Burton. Christina Ricci is coming back to star as Wednesday, which the show will be based off of her. And it's not going to be a spinoff from the movies. It's going to be a reimagined show specifically surrounding her and her character. So she's back for that.
Is she back as Wednesday?
No.
Yep.
Oh, she is?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm here for that.
Yeah.
Old Wednesday?
So there's that. And then after 30 years, you are no longer on TV. Maury got canceled. So no more you are not the father or you are the father episodes of Maury after 30 years. How was that the one that made it the entire way? Like Springer got canceled. Like how was Maury
civilization? Maury.
How was Maury able to sit up there with that manila envelope for 30 years and just say you are not or you are and just make that into a career?
People
Jim Jones is out here changing lives.
Or the lie detector says that's a lie. No, that lie detector's a lie.
He has your nose.
Trash TV gets ratings. But I did see that they said that it's still going to stay in syndication.
Don't worry, he'll
it's
be
not going away.
Too.
But
oh man, I don't know which ones are new, which ones are old anyway. So
soon will be Judge Maury.
Also, I want to give a shout out to actor Anthony Mackie. We know from the Marvel's Avengers, the new Captain America. Papa Doc, whatever.
There you go.
He purchased 20 acres of land to build a film studio. We've seen this with Tyler Perry and others. So, excited for this, see what he does with it, what they're able to produce. I like creatives going out there and figuring out a way to come up with their own content and be able to cut out the big time middleman there. And keep more money for themselves and the people that they hire and bring on. So we'll see what develops from that. But wanted to give him a quick shout out with that.
One he brought up was Tyler Perry. I hope we're not seeing Anthony Mackie as Medea.
Hey, he's played everything. Everybody.
Right. Anybody got any other quick hitters here? Final thoughts before we wrap up the show?
Yeah, don't say shit about the weather next week. Don't say nothing, man. I don't even know if it's raining.
For all the anime watchers, Attack on Titan is not new this week. The season finale is next week.
All right. With that being said, this week's quote of the week comes from the late, great Maya Angelou. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them.
I think that one's for you, Jason. All the hate you got today.
Oh man,
they changed the weather, but you can't let it
be like Ice-T in the Players Ball. Hate. And with that, thanks for tuning in each and every single week. We appreciate the love. Follow us, as Chris said, on social medias. And I'm a Mark. You're a Mark. Tell a Mark. Till next time, y'all can catch us around the way.